first coming in last. Went to the bank, happy alive. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap.
Episode 73, Woodcrest Certified Podcast. Welcome all. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We have a funny story to open it up with. And of course, it has to deal with one of Chris's coworkers.
That nigga Chris work on a short bus.
That's fucked, man. Come on, man.
And canceled.
I'm saying, like,
yeah. Anyway, Chris, the floor is yours. Tell us about your coworkers.
So I got this coworker who
That nigga ain't even say nothing and laugh.
so this nigga's on some shit, man. Like, the last time me and him got into a debate, he was out there spitting. He thought he was like Malcolm X, talking about how it's unwise to purchase a house. And I'm like, how you figure?
Oh, that guy.
The same guy. And I was like, this and that. And essentially he had the whole crowd with him. Like, everybody was like, oh shit, he's spitting. And I'm the only one out there thinking like, damn, bro, you don't sound smart at all. He eavesdropped onto a conversation I was having with somebody else. Oh, I was getting roasted. And somebody was like, yo, you in the military? You the one saving us? I got no faith. And they said they made a joke about how they want a refund on their taxes. Haha, hilarious. And I was like, well, we're still the best trained military in the world. And then this nigga came out of nowhere talking about, no, we're not. We couldn't even defeat Afghanistan. And we got into a whole thing. After like 10 arguments, my nigga said, we're going to be invading Mexico pretty soon. And I was like, no, the fuck we're not. And he's like, yes, we are. And he made some stupid, elaborate conversation debate based off of a dozen conspiracy theories that he subscribes to. And I was like, I bet you 100 we don't. And he said, deal. And this motherfucker actually shook my hand. And that wasn't even the most surprising part. I was like, all right, so what's the time limit? 30 days? And then the nigga agreed to 30 days. And I think you guys you guys got to understand, like, we can't even mobilize our troops in 30 days, right? Like, the towers fell, and we weren't in Iraq until like 5 months after that. You know what I mean? Like, so even if we were going to declare war on Mexico for whatever fucking reason, we decided that we really didn't like those motherfuckers. It is like mathematically impossible for us to put fucking troops in Mexico in 30 days. So I'm going to win an easy $100, and I'm happy about that.
Hey, good for you, bro.
And also Chris.
What is his what's his reasoning? Like, why is he saying that we're gonna invade Mexico?
Nothing. That nigga just pulled that shit out of his ass.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. But based off of my coworkers' reasonings, there's a mutual fund called BlackRock. It's one of the biggest mutual fund holders in the United States. And Mexico did some shit. And now we're going to go over there and take them back, according to my brilliant coworker.
That nigga's stupid. Because the quickest branch they can mobilize is the Marines, because the president can mobilize them without Congress. But you still got to train up to understand where you're going to go fight anyways.
Nigga, and like, not just that. Like, let's say that that's how shit worked. You have to sell the American public on some shit, right? Like, the military is funded by American tax dollars. And if we just decided we're going to send a bunch of Marines into fucking Canada, and we're just like, just because, like, Joe Biden's like, fuck them niggas. Like, nobody would be okay with that, right? Like, nobody would be like, oh, okay, just another day in the presidency, right? Like, that's not how things operate. But these niggas believe in the Illuminati and they believe that nothing, all this other stuff. So in their head, it makes sense. And I kind of got sick of listening to their stupid shit day in and day out. So I've decided that instead of listening to their stupid shit, I'm gonna listen to their stupid shit and I'm gonna make their stupid shit profitable. So I'm about to win money off of a couple of my coworkers, but that's just like the funniest story. Like the rest of them are like there's a lot of niggas there that owe me money already.
Nice. I didn't realize. I mean, granted, it was a long time ago, and I was just a youngin, but I didn't realize it took that long for us to get to Iraq after the towers.
It took even longer to get majority of the troops out there. Damn near 2-3 years. Like,
you just you sent like a little force. Like it took a couple months to just get like the first force to land on the ground, but then after that, it takes time. Like we have a gigantic military. Logistically, a lot of things have to move around. You have to plan a lot of things. Like Peterson said, you have to train people to be in a specific place. You have to learn where you're gonna be, right? Like there's a lot of shit that has to happen. You know,
So it's
like
not
in video games. In video games, you could just send people to like just
precision airstrike.
Yeah, like,
there's no nuclear button. That's what Trump was talking about.
in real life, there's like logistics. A lot of things have to happen. Like for people with kids, like you have a kid, David, to fucking do anything with your kid, it takes like you gotta like be 3 steps ahead. You gotta like, you know, you gotta make sure he's prepared and you're prepared. Then imagine like having fucking 10 kids. Now think about having fucking hundreds of thousands of fucking kids, right? Like
why would I do that?
You know what I mean? Because you're a horny motherfucker. Redacted. Redacted. I redact
that. Yeah.
I just don't think he could do that.
He's like, imagine having 10 kids. Now imagine having 100,000 kids. Like, no, bro. Like,
imagine being Nick Cannon. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine, like,
no thanks.
Like, I'm pretty sure us going to Iraq is easier than Nick Cannon going to Disney. You know what I mean?
Like, way easier. Like, way easier.
Like, I know that shit is fucking difficult, nigga. Like,
you talking about the kids? You got to get the baby moms to agree. Like,
work with all their schedules.
Yeah,
he just puts them all in a big group chat. Like, hey, listen.
Like, I don't think there's enough space for that.
I know they be posting some wild fucking headlines, but I read some shit. I don't know which baby mom it is. I don't keep up with it. I know like Mariah Carey and that's it. But one of the baby moms is like, yo, like I'm really jealous, but I find it so sexy that he has so many baby moms. And I'm like, oh, and that's why you his baby moms.
I saw that shit. She was like, he got like super sperm or some dumbass shit she said. I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, I was like, motherfuckers is retarded. I meant slow.
Hey.
Slow.
Canceled. Second time in one episode.
So
go for the trifecta.
Yeah.
Retarded.
Hey. Hey, alrighty. Anyway, all right, but like in all reality, hypothetically, like if Mexico, let's say Mexico did something that was worthy of us invading Mexico, like that shit would take 2 months to get to Mexico.
Way more than 2 months, bro. Like
it'll take some time, yeah.
But they're right there.
You can't just mobile. First of all, you don't have all your units in California. That's stupid. So
Yeah.
you got to get them from New York and Tennessee and Georgia and all these places and move them down that way. Right? And then you got to figure out like the purpose of even going into there. Like,
damn,
you can't.
Like everybody, they have to agree on it. Congress, it has to go through the House. You got to find out which units are going to go first, and right, like these units are all trying to go. So like you got to, you know, it's a bunch of shit going on, and then in those units, they have to figure out the logistics within themselves, and yeah, it's a bunch of shit.
Then you got 20,000 different jobs. So are you just gonna take every infantryman and just say fuck it? We just gonna go kill motherfuckers? Like that's weird.
And then there's the allotment of money as well, and that takes time, right? Like you gotta like these people gotta know that it's a bunch of shit.
That shit take forever.
The chat says they would invade Texas and think they made it.
And Texas gonna fuck them up.
Yeah, motherfuckers in Texas been waiting for the government to pull up on them.
The cartel don't got shit on them Texans, boy.
I don't know, man. Them cartel people are crazy.
Yeah, to their own people. Them Texans is gonna line up and light them bitches up.
Damn,
bro.
wild. All right. Enough about your coworkers. Although that is hilarious. Kudos to you, Chris. I'm happy you're gonna win money off of them. That's sick.
I am too.
Yep. And then so on to so you mentioned wanting to elaborate, I guess, more or go into more detail about the coaching firings as of late. And the floor is yours because I'm waiting to figure out what we're talking about on this. So go.
I don't even remember what we talked about last podcast, but like this nigga Bud got fired, Monty got fired, now Doc Rivers got fired.
Fucking Missoula might get
All
fired.
these guys.
Joe Missoula might get fired.
After his first year, though, I thought that too. But then a Boston fan was like, "It's his first year." Like,
I'm just like what. There's just been a lot of rumors and speculation about it. And normally, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So
Let's say that he does. Like the fact that that's even a possibility is insane. Like the nigga took him to the Eastern Conference Finals in his first fucking year. We're talking about firing him? Like, are we not like? Is this like coach firing culture not like insane?
I don't know. The previous coach to him was in his first year. He got to the finals though. With,
I mean, he didn't get fired. Well, I mean, he kind of got fired, but that was because of other shit, though.
Yeah.
It
Whoever's
wasn't
bitchy fuck, they were really mad about that shit.
That's crazy.
It's what it was.
Okay. But nonetheless, that wasn't a performance firing. I could speak at least on the Bud side of things. Like he was fixing to get fired for the last like 3 years, right? Like
I mean,
if
he won you a championship like 2 years ago.
I
I was just about to
understand,
say that.
but I'm saying like
That was a fake year.
no, it wasn't. But in reality, he was a KD foot on the line away from being fired that year. And then last year, the only thing that saved his job was the fact that they were missing Chris Middleton against the Celtics. So like if we would have lost against the Celtics and had a healthy team, he would have been fired too that year. Granted, with
That's
Chris Middleton, we
insanity.
might have made it to the finals, maybe. But I mean, I don't think is
That-
that insane because he has kind of a bad track record. So I mean, he's won a
I
lot of
just don't
regular
see
season.
how like he has a championship under his belt. He's made several pretty deep playoff runs. The Bucks have consistently been one of the highest winning teams in the league. And we're talking about he should get fired. That's insane. Like I'm
So-
thinking like I sell 25 cars a month and then 1 month I sell 15 cars and then they fire me.
Not exactly. So like the way that it plays out. So year one, we go to the conference finals, and then we lose 4 straight. In those four
That's tough.
straights, yep. Shout out to fucking Kawhi's bitch ass. But in those 4 straight, there has been no adjustments, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to Bud, is that he isn't good with adjusting during the game, especially. But especially in that series, he didn't adjust at all. Then we go into the next season, and comes out like, no, we're not going to adjust at all still. And like of his 5 years, I'd say 3 of them, the Bucks gave up the most threes every single fucking year. Like the most uncontested threes, just based off his defense, and then it never changed either when we got to the playoffs because he just didn't want to change. The year they started doing more switching or whatever, then that's when like we got PJ, and then we actually did it, and then we got Drew, and we started doing a little more switching. But then offensively, is still super stagnant. Has no difference, no movement. Just like let Giannis and Chris try to fucking figure it out. Like his favorite phrase is "play random." Like what the fuck is that? You can't just go out there and play randomly, sort of thing. It makes you very predictable and whatever. And then what was it? The year we won the finals, we just barely had a good enough offense to be able to do it in the half court statistically. And then Giannis obviously went ape shit. Then the Celtics again, no adjustments. Let fucking this dude um score. What was it? 21 wide open threes, and then I mean we lost because of Grant Williams' ugly ass in Game 7.
That's crazy.
And then
Grant
again,
Williams closed the door on y'all boys, but I remember that.
yeah.
That was awesome.
And then this past year, Jimmy Butler's fucking torching us.
Man, say it again, bro. The people in the back.
Fuck you. And there's no adjustment. Like we double teamed him. I think it was 7 times the entire series, and 5 of those times were in one game. Like he didn't see multiple bodies, right? Giannis didn't guard him once. Like he didn't let Giannis fucking guard him, right? Like it was time, bro. No adjustments. Didn't call timeouts when he was supposed to. Like Bud is a very justifiable firing. The only thing that sucked about his firing was like the timing of it because he just lost his brother and shit. So like that part is kind of ass.
It's
But
pretty insensitive of you guys.
yeah, but it is a justifiable firing.
Okay, and then Monty.
That I don't fuck with the Suns like that. I mean, Monty got out coached by Bud, which is like, how the fuck did you do that? Because he's known for being out coached in the fucking playoffs because he doesn't adjust. And then there's just the pressures of having KD now on the team and not succeeding, and then it's new ownership. Just want a different voice in there.
He won Coach of the Year, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, fucking that don't mean nothing. Look at what was his name?
Talking about Dwayne Casey? Yeah,
he won Coach of the Year and got fired that same year.
Like it seems like this is all part of like the player empowerment. Because like, if the sources tell it correctly, Doc Rivers' firing had a lot to do with James Harden.
And he's leaving anyway, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how James Harden has enough clout to fucking impact something like that. Like,
I mean, the nigga just got a 4-year, $200 million contract. He obviously has clout, David. What the fuck are you talking about?
Saying why? Why do he got that clout? Did you watch him in the playoffs?
You wouldn't pay the guy $50 million if he didn't have clout. So I'm saying is like,
I'm not trying to
how he got there.
I'm not trying to like burst your bubble, but he doesn't have that contract.
What?
Harden doesn't have a 3-year or a 4-year, $200 million contract.
Didn't they just extend him?
He did a 1-1, and he took a pay cut.
He might opt out.
Yeah, he's opting out.
You would give James Harden $200 for 4 years?
Would I give him?
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not. No.
Okay, all right. That's the point that I was making. Thank you.
What I'm saying is like he played fucking horrible, but the team still sided with him according to the reports.
Right.
And it's like that shit really got me scratching my head. It's like these teams let ESPN set the expectations, and based off of the expectations that ESPN sets is whether they're gonna fire their coach or not. Like the Bucks lost to the Heat, and it turns out the Heat are really fucking dangerous. They're running through the fucking East.
Yeah, shout out to the Heat.
They're destroying the Celtics right now.
I do love to see that. I can't lie.
Hey, shout out Duncan Robinson. 5 3-pointers yesterday. How many Clay had yesterday? We don't know.
Petty.
This nigga a menace.
Chat says Steve Nash in Brooklyn players pushed them out. I mean, Steve Nash was kind of ass though.
And Steve Nash had one play, bro. It was bro. He got the clipboard. He was like, "This is KD. Give him the ball."
No, that's just crazy though. They're like, yo, KD was like, it's either him or me. And then they fired Steve Nash and then KD demanded a trade. Like, what?
Well, it was. I mean, a lot of that I feel like also had to do with Kyrie. But I mean, when you're a head coach in the NBA, really a head coach in any pro sport, a lot of what you're doing is just managing the relationships with the players. Like that's a big, big part of what you're doing. And Steve Nash just lost. Like they weren't listening to him at all. So it's like, the fuck you
But like
doing?
it was from the very beginning. Like before Steve Nash could even start coaching them, Kyrie was already talking about like it's not like we really got a coach.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before they could even get in the locker room together. Like I don't know, man. Like it's just that whole this off season was very strange to me. That like coaches that have incredibly impressive resumes got fired like that.
Hell yeah. Day right after the season, bro. Just like, hey, step into my office. Your time here is up.
Your time here is
Yeah.
up.
And it's crazy because like there's coaches that like, and they're all teams that had expectations. Like if you're coaching the Chicago Bulls, like you should probably lose your job, right?
He won't though.
But like
I mean, they didn't have high expectations though.
that's what I'm saying though. Like they didn't underachieve, but like why are they not underachieving? Like they have a bunch of talent on that fucking team.
I mean, but Chris, it's like, all right, so I know you use kind of the analogy that if you sell X amount of cars this month, but not as many the next month, sort of thing. But like, let's say your quota is like, hey, you have to hit 20 cars every month, right? And if you don't hit it, you're gonna get fired. And like 20 cars is an absurd of fucking amount. So, but it's the same thing. Like, if your expectation is to win the championship and you don't do it, you're not hitting the expectations that the company has set for you.
Yeah,
But
it's the
like I
curse of
don't think
being good.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think the company necessarily sets these expectations. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think like when KD went to the Suns, the nigga played like 13 games in total with the Suns. Like who expected them to go all the way to the championship? You know what I mean? Like
Well, I mean, I
but
think there
niggas
was a lot of expectations when he got there. Like,
I got you. Like
when he went there, didn't they have like the second or the third greatest odds, right, to win the championship?
I mean, Chris, wasn't you mad when he went there?
oh yeah, no, absolutely. But then he played only 13 games. Their chemistry wasn't right. They had no bench. Like
Yeah, but your expectation was still high of them.
regardless of what your expectations are, it's just like let's relate it back to sales. Like I expect you to sell 30 cars, but it turns out that you're really only a 20 car guy. A 20 car guy is still really fucking good, but because you're not the 30 that I thought you were, I'm gonna fire you. That's crazy to me.
I mean, but you comparing
Like
apples with oranges.
it's like I expect you to sell 13 cars, and then you sell 13 cars, and I'm okay with that, so I don't fire you. But since you sold 20 and I expected you to sell 30, I'm gonna fire you.
Yeah, that's how life works sometimes. It's trash,
That's
but
that shit doesn't make no sense.
that's
Mm.
like even Nike do it. Like Nike sometimes make $1 million a month. That's a lot of fucking money, bro. Like, and if they fall short on that shit, like let's say they make 650, which is still a lot of money because we damn near own the building we in. They start laying people off, and it's
So
like
like
you don't.
like this is the type of shit like whenever you guys mention a conspiracy theory, this is why I always fight back. This is why I'm winning money off of my coworkers. Because people believe that the people in charge are so much smarter than what they actually are. You know what I mean? Because, like, I really think that these coaching firings are at least partly responsible by ESPN. Like, these niggas are watching ESPN, they're falling into their own hype, then they get disappointed, and then they end up fucking firing these coaches.
I don't really agree with
Like, I
that at all.
really,
Yeah.
honestly, to my core, believe that's what's
I
going on.
don't, I
I
don't
feel like
agree with
that's a
that.
bigger conspiracy.
Yeah, I think that's
I
a
think they're
huge
watching us.
conspiracy. I think them coach firing is due to greed, like in social media, because if you expect the top 5 teams to be good, 1 out of 5 gonna win, but the other 4 gonna have to suffer the consequences of not winning. That's just what it is. Like,
Well, you're saying the same thing that I'm saying.
no.
Whether it's social media, whether it's ESPN, whether it's whatever, you fell into your own hype. And because you didn't meet the expectations that somebody else set for you, now you mad.
Rachel Nichols' fault, bro.
Because what I'm saying is, if you were an actual competent organization, you would analyze where you at, right? Like going back to the Bucks, they lost to the Miami Heat. It turns out the Miami Heat are really fucking good, right? Like these niggas are really right. So like, yeah, you can make the argument that Bud didn't make the necessary adjustments, but you can also make the argument that the nigga didn't make necessary adjustments 2 years ago and he won you a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, to fire that nigga 2 years after a championship to me is insane.
It's also. Go ahead, Pete.
No, I agree. It's insane, but it go back to that. You remember when we was talking about the kid that said the N word on the phone? It go back into the era that we're in. Like everybody is supposed to be a winner because how close in proximity you can notice things like so quick like this, right? So the fact that you don't keep up with the hype of winning, like let's say Pat Mahomes' team, right? If they don't win X amount of times, they coach probably gonna get fired too. And them niggas won what 2 out of 3?
I mean, to me, it's like it depends on it. It comes down to how you lose, right? Like for example, fucking that game when it was the Bills against the Chiefs, right? The coach didn't get out coached. The players, I mean, it was a fucking crazy game, right? Just Mahomes and Kelsey happened to be just that's a little bit better. Like if you lose and it's the players going at it, right? And it's in the players' hands and it's on them for certain shit, right? Then I think you're good. But it depends on the way you lost. Like truly feel that the Heat loss was a coaching loss. The Celtics
Yeah,
loss,
fucking right, bro.
the Celtics was a coaching loss. Well, for
Bro,
the
like,
Bucks, the Raptors was a coaching loss.
Bro, they swept you, bro. Like, I don't think that was a coaching loss.
Well, all right.
It was 5 games.
When you make, yeah, it was 5 games. Get it right. But when you
And the one
lose,
game they won, Giannis wasn't even there.
ain't that some shit? All right.
He made adjustments that game.
But when you lose and you don't make any adjustments at all, like you don't do everything you can as a coach to put your team in a position to succeed, you deserve to get fired. Especially when the team has high aspirations.
Monty Williams is a good example of that because the way he went out these past 2 years have been nothing short of embarrassing, bro. Like they got thrashed, bro. Like what Luka did to them last year, or 2 years ago now, that shit was bad, bro. Getting 30 piece in Game 7 on your home floor, that's bad for business.
But the thing is that he's a generational player. He would do that against Popovich. He would do that against the greatest coaches of all time. Like Luka is really, really good.
Unless
am I wrong?
With him.
Luka's that guy, but still.
But this is what I'm saying. Like
fucking Luka they did 30 piece you of 6 games previous to that. So how you go out like that? Like that's I see it that way. Like that's a bad
that's
way
what happens when you're a really good player. Like this is what I'm saying. Like
the Suns have really good players too, though.
I think the coach is just like the what's the term?
The scapegoat.
Called? Yeah, the scapegoat. Like he's like the lowest hanging fruit. It's just easier to just be like, well, it's the coach's fault. Even like in reality, if the Bucks had a better coach, y'all probably still losing to the Heat, bro. Like,
I honestly don't agree with you.
nigga, y'all got swept.
It was in 5, Chris. It wasn't a sweep.
Like, bro, like the Heat turned out to be really, really fucking good. Like, I don't think there's a world where the KD and Devin Booker Suns beat the Nuggets, bro. Like, I don't think that there's no way.
Chris, again,
The Nuggets were just that much better.
I mean that, and I use hypothetical, but the reality of it, the coach was the coach, and the teams got mollywopped, so you can't blame nobody but the coach.
I mean, can you not blame the situation? Like, if you're the best player on your team and you're hurt, I'm gonna blame the coach when your team loses.
But what about the Bucks situation?
You could blame Tyronn Lue for Kawhi Leonard getting hurt in the playoffs.
Why?
Because he ran him into the ground. That's how he got hurt. He low managed all year, played once a week for the last 6 months of the season, and then in the playoffs they just say, "Here you go, play 45 minutes a game." Like,
I mean, a lot of that is Kawhi's camp, though. Like Kawhi has put those like stipulations and shit that's how he wants to go about it, is not have to play a lot of games in the regular season.
Like,
that shit crazy.
Like
but the level of intensity though, like to go from very, very low to immediately just rank that shit way up, like his engine overheated, bro. And that's
also didn't he sprained his knee and like tore his ACL? Like those aren't soft tissue injuries, David. Like I don't think
so. He has an injury history, and then you fucking ramp him up like that. Like that's obviously a recipe for disaster.
David, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to manage his minutes.
You're gonna load him in
regular season
playoff game.
No, you can play him more towards the end of the season so that ramp up period is not as dangerous.
Bro, a torn ACL doesn't happen from a bigger workload. That comes from a
he didn't tear his ACL. He's recovering from a torn ACL,
and then
the injury that occurred
he sprained his knee.
Was a meniscus tear. So I'm saying the workload of the playoffs to just immediately go and play him 40-something minutes. That's what got him fucking hurt.
I don't agree, but whatever. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, doctors are smart.
What got him hurt both other times? Like maybe he's just fucking injury prone, David.
Well, yeah, the other one, Zaza, fucking went underneath him. He sprained his ankle. Like like in the playoffs, yeah, it's all been like an ACL or like you said, a meniscus tear or a fucking sprained ankle. Again, those aren't soft tissue injuries.
Jimmy sprained his ankle against the Knicks, but Jimmy just built different.
Bro, you're so ugly, man. Oh my goodness. This man is so ugly.
Yeah, mom don't think so.
You gotta bring my mom into this? I'm saying that's wild. My mom doesn't even know you.
She told me last night.
That's weird.
Yo, like, is the Miami Heat winning not enough? Like, you have to like.
No, it's not. It's not. They haven't won anything just yet.
I mean, they beat the fuck out the Bucks, and they're beating the shit out.
That's not impressive,
Celtics.
bro. They've done that before.
Nigga a menace.
It's like rookie when you make a 3-point shot. Like I'm not like crazy impressed, but I've seen you make a 3-point shot before.
Nigga, you guys are the 8th seed, and you're about to go to the finals, and you're saying you're not impressed?
Not until they win it all.
Bro, you were literally calling Pat Riley Sleepy Joe, talking about this team is ass, and now they're the conference finals, and you're like, man.
Yeah, if you watched the Miami Heat like I did all year, you would have thought the exact same thing. You're like, these guys fucking suck. Kyle Lowry is the worst.
And nobody's mad at you for thinking that. What we're mad at you for is now being like, oh, well, if we don't win it all, it was for nothing. Like that's a pretty.
I don't want this Jimmy race to go to or I don't want this Jimmy run to go to waste, man.
Well, don't worry.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Denver worries me.
Yeah, you should be.
Nuggets
in 5.
It turns out all these fucking bets, you weren't worried when you made 3 fucking bets against the Nuggets. You weren't worried then?
No, it's because usually when it comes to other teams' best player, I could just be like, we'll just put Bam on him. But like I've seen Jokic is probably the guy that's had the most success against Bam. Like Jokic just most likely looked like himself when he goes up against Bam, because usually dudes kind of fold when they go against Bam. Like look at Jaylen Brown in this series. Look at Jalen Brown in the last game. Bam put the clamps on him. He didn't look like Jalen Brown. But Jokic, it don't matter who the fuck in front of him, bro. He's still finna. He can slice and dice you and go right over you, bro. Like it's gonna be tough. And then if Jamal Murray's going fucking crazy, that doesn't worry me because we got guys to throw at him on the perimeter. Jimmy Butler, but Jokic is
Jimmy Butler's not gonna guard Jamal Murray.
You're out of your mind. Of course he is. What do you think? We put Gabe Vincent. I mean, we'll start Gabe Vincent on him, but in crunch time, you're 100% gonna see Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray.
That's gonna be a mistake.
Guaranteed.
Nuggets in 5.
You're a bitch.
Good one. All right. Anything else on this coaching thing?
The best coach in the NBA is Eric Spoelstra.
Okay. Yeah. We got that. All right.
So two things. I think this player empowerment thing has led us to. I think we're lopsided again, and we might have to move in the other direction. And then B, the people in charge are not nearly as competent as you think they are. And
what does that even mean? That
that
go in the opposite direction. Like,
hold on. With the people in charge, somebody has to be competent for the shit to move how it moves. Like that statement is off.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's almost like saying everything happens by mistake. That is not a mistake, bro. Like
not necessarily so. Like, do you think like Florida, for example? Are you saying Florida was so successful because DeSantis is really competent? Or are you saying Florida is successful because Florida is fucking Florida?
No, that don't make no
Mickey
sense.
Mouse.
That comparison is slow because DeSantis just came in power. Like that's weird.
DeSantis been running the state for a couple of years now.
Yeah, he came into something that was already established. That's weird.
But this is what I'm saying. Like that you could say the same thing about these NBA organizations.
Like who?
Right? Like these niggas aren't necessarily making good decisions. They're kind of just stumbling onto something that's already working.
I don't agree with that. Like Monty,
I don't agree with that.
I'm just saying, like when Bud took over the Bucks, the year before that they were 8th seed, I think, or a 7th seed, and got bounced in the first round by the Celtics.
Trash.
Without Kyrie.
And then Bud took over.
Yeah, and then they had success.
And now he's fired, and you agree with this fire.
Well, yeah, I do agree with the firing.
What the fuck I'm saying? Like
I don't know. I don't know.
No, but I'm saying, what do you mean? No, but you're saying that these coaches are stumbling into good situations.
I'm not saying the coaches. I'm saying the front office.
Martin Jackson did, or not Martin Jackson. Steve Kerr.
I'm saying the front office. I'm saying the front office had a championship caliber coach, and I'm saying that because he won you a championship. The expectations were really high. He didn't meet those expectations, so you fired him.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily the front office thinking things through. I think the front office is just following into the same hype that you're following into. And to me, that's incompetence.
Following into the same hype of the fact that he never made any adjustments and has lost, so deserves to be fired.
Bro, so those losses were fireable offenses to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you fucking suck, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I coach my JV team better than he coached fucking Giannis, and my JV team had no fucking talent whatsoever, bro.
Like, bro, we fucking trade 5 second-round picks to get Jay Crowder, and dude doesn't even play him. Like, he played 14 minutes or some shit like that in the playoffs. Like, what the fuck is that?
Jay Crowder could have stayed his ass in Phoenix for that shit, bro. What a
yeah. He could have stayed his ass on Brooklyn for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, Chris? Bud is definitely justifiable. With Monty, I think a lot of that is just because of the fact that he has gone out bad, but also there's new ownership. So dude wants to control, everything probably, and wants to come in and dictate who's coming in as a new coach. That's probably the reason with them. I mean, the Doc one, I'd say is probably the most wild because Joel Embiid played like absolute dog shit. Granted, so did James Harden, but regardless, both of them played like dog shit. So then I do think Doc was probably a scapegoat. sort of thing. But he also has a bad track record of Game 7s and not being able to win. So that I think is unfairly into the mix of things.
And you can't really fire the owners unless they do some wild ass
You
shit.
can't
So
fire them, unless they
I'm
say some
saying, so the next
some racist
person in
shit.
charge is, or the next step is going to be the coaches.
So the Miami Heat have had some down years. They don't fire Spo. They don't even consider it.
When
I'm
did they have a down year?
Have the Miami Heat had a down year?
Yeah, when D Wade tore his shoulder.
But you guys haven't missed the playoffs at all in the past 8 years?
The 1 year where we went 11-32 and then, or what was it, 30-11 and then 11-30. That was the year that Chris Middleton hit that fucking buzzer beater. That's when my hatred for him began. So that was what, like 2018?
Have you guys not been first round exits?
Well, yeah, that's because Dwayne Wade was a one man team going against Boston or Atlanta.
No, I'm talking about in between.
Or even with that one time.
No, go ahead. Get it all out your system.
But yeah, so you're gonna fire Spo because he constantly makes the playoffs? I feel you. And Spo is like a legitimate, like a really good coach.
How much rings he got?
Spo got 2 of them things.
Oh he got 3 of them.
He was an assistant in 2006. But I mean, okay, so yeah, he got 3. Yeah, he got 3. As a head coach too. That's part of the coaching staff too.
Doing damn.
But Spo, he different though. He already had like 15 years with the team before he became a head coach. So that's a very unique and like an outlier.
I mean, Spo's a G. Like Spo, I think is the best coach in the league. So y'all got that. I never look at Heat losses and it being because of Spo, like I do with Bud.
He hate that, man.
Bro, like I honestly believe that if we didn't have Bud, if the Bucks didn't have Bud, probably would have won at least maybe another one. Like I think we could have won at least
let's
last
find
year.
out. Next year you should win a championship, right?
No, now the Bucks are in a lot of shit because of like Middleton's contract and then Brooks and then the repeater tax. Huh?
So if you guys figure out a way to bring everybody back, you guys should win a championship now, correct?
Come on, bro. You know that's just not fucking true.
In theory, I mean, you got to see what happens, like with the rest of the league.
The Heat are still going to be part of the league, bro.
Everybody stays the fucking same.
If everyone stays the same as currently constructed, and the Bucks have a new coach, and everyone's still the same, yes, the Bucks win next year.
You got money on that?
Yeah, I got money on the league staying exactly the same, David.
Nah, hell no. We finna get Damian Lillard in Miami, so.
Nah, he coming to Milwaukee.
Why would anyone do that, bro? Willingly.
Because Giannis is good.
Yeah, good enough for fucking 17 missed free throws in the closeout game.
Yeah, that was tough.
That's Bud's fault, though.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
And it was 13, bitch.
My bad. Yeah, but all 13 of those misses were because of Budenholzer.
Bud didn't make the proper adjustment.
Bud didn't give him enough fucking free throw practice in practice.
Bro, Bud took out Brook Lopez, so I had Pat Connaughton defending the rim. And Jimmy Butler said
he said he did that because Miami had taken Bam out. What if Spo took Bam out knowing they would take Brook Lopez out? That'd be.
I mean, that's probably why he did it. But I still don't agree with the decision from Bud. But anyway,
it's all right. Greg Popovich took out Tim Duncan when Ray Allen hit that one shot. So
true.
It happens to the greats. Not Spo though.
You guys have only missed the playoffs once in 13 years, David?
Thinking off the top of my head, it was Dwayne Wade's last year. I think that was the year that, or it might have been Dwayne Wade's last year, or maybe the year right before that. Because I don't think that Chris Middleton buzzer beater was Dwayne Wade's last year.
We're talking about 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. You only missed the playoffs once in those 5 years.
Yeah.
He's pulling out his phone.
Why he asked when he could have just Googled.com.
It might have been in that time span. It might have been 2 years. Well, I think 2 years at most. We lost to Philly, lost to Toronto in like the semis. That was when Dwayne Wade came back. So I think that was 2016. And 2017 was D Wade's last year. So they missed the playoffs 2017. And then after D Wade left, we got Jimmy. Right?
Shortly after that, yeah.
Yeah.
The last
we
time
haven't missed no playoffs with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, at least the last time the Heat missed the playoffs was in 2019.
29, yeah. So that's D Wade's last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because 2019 is D Wade's last year. The summer of 2019, we got Jimmy Butler. Because
You
2020 was
guys
in the
didn't
bubble.
14, 2015?
14 and 15, no, we were in the finals in 14. And then even after LeBron left, we still made the playoffs.
14, 15, I mean.
Yeah, that was after LeBron left, but we still had Bosh and Wade.
Yeah,
And then we got Goran Dragic.
y'all didn't miss the playoffs in 15, in 17, in 19, and then before that, oh wait.
So they missed it 3 times in that 5-year span, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So they won the finals in 2012, 2013 won the finals, lost the finals in 14, missed in 15, lost the Eastern Conference semis, missed in 17, lost in first round in 18, then missed in 19.
So I'm saying, all right, so I'm going to go back to my original statement before David got off whatever the fuck he had to say, which I wasn't listening because it didn't make no fucking sense. And now, according to rookie statistics, was completely wrong. During that 5-year span.
I wouldn't trust rookie, though.
I mean, I'm looking it up online. It's not like me thinking about it. I'll send it in the group chat, though, since you want to be a bitch.
During that 5-year span, would it have been justifiable to fire Spo?
Yes. No, I'm playing. No, because he's the best.
Chris, they had no expectations then, too, though. Like
Like you lose your job based off of expectations is insane.
That's life, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't.
That's stupidity. It's not life. That's
that
not life.
that literally is life.
Yeah, like how is it not? Most jobs I've had, it was an expectation set prior to even me come. Like at the hospital, right? Whenever I had to work on devices, whether it was tablets, cell phones, laptops and desktops and printers, right? The expectation that was set prior to the people before me, you had to touch 30 devices before leaving the job every day.
All right. So those expectations were based off of data that the company was working off of.
Based on how much devices people touch prior to me coming into it.
All right, cool. The patients didn't say, hey, this is what we expect, right? That's not what the expectations are based off of. Correct?
But you can't use that in this scenario.
That's exactly what's happening in the NBA. The NBA is based on like what the fans think is gonna happen.
No, that's what you think.
It's a partnership between the fans and the business at that point. That's why the job that I did background work. So nobody could ever see that. So it don't make no sense for a patient. You know what I'm saying?
So going to the Suns, if the Suns organization actually knew what the fuck they were doing, they knew they couldn't win a championship. Somebody tell me that I'm wrong.
If the Suns didn't think they could win a championship, they wouldn't have gave up 4 fucking first-round picks and all them players to get KD.
I got you, but not this year.
I mean, obviously, them firing Monty is the proof that they thought they could win this year.
But this is the argument that I'm making, Rook, that you're completely ignoring. They traded for KD. KD wasn't available. KD played 13 games for them. If the organization was competent, they would understand that without KD playing a whole season with them, without Chris Paul and without DeAndre Ayton, there's no way they could beat the number 1 seed in the Nuggets. That's what a smart organization would realize, correct?
In theory.
Correct. But that's not what they realized. Because the media said that the Suns should win.
I really think that you think they pay attention to the media way more than they actually do, bro.
I think.
I mean, I feel like it's them firing Monty is my point being proven.
I think they have to do both though, because the type of organization they are. Because you have to satisfy the organization and the fans at the same time. Because in something like the NBA and the NFL, like if you don't satisfy your fan base that pay to go watch these games, you're gonna lose money. Like that's what I'm trying to. That's my point in that.
I feel like if you have a good coach and you fire him, you're doing the fans a disservice.
I mean,
bro, the Nugget or not the Nuggets, the fucking Suns are probably the most attractive destination in the NBA right now.
No way.
Fuck if you have an attractive destination or not.
So what I'm saying is you're gonna get a good ass fucking coach.
You already had a good coach.
You had a
Coach of the year.
So get rid of a good coach to hopefully get another one.
To get one
That's trading away your best player for a number one pick. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
Nah, that ain't.
Bro, Monty has shown.
doing this.
I know.
Nah,
Monty
no,
has
it's not.
shown to not do well in the playoffs, Chris.
So
Like,
he
what are
made
you
it to the
talking
fucking finals and lost. Kind of going fucking crazy.
Bud won the
And then
finals and he got fired still. Nick Nurse won the
said what?
finals and got fired still.
Now that's irrelevant. We're talking about Monty Williams. Monty Williams went to the finals. He lost to the Nuggets with the hurt fucking team. And then what was the other year? The year that he lost to Luka, when Luka went nuts in Game 7. Those are his 3 track records. And based off of those 3 series, you're saying that he's not a good coach in the playoffs?
Remind me how that series went. Was it going back and forth? Or didn't they have a lead and they blew the lead or something like that in the series?
I don't even remember, honestly.
I don't remember either. So I guess I can't really speak on that.
what I'm saying is that they went to Game 7, and the best player did what best players tend to do in Game 7s. And based off of those 3 series, you feel like Monty Williams
bro,
is justified.
And it's a change in ownership, bro. It's if they had the same owner, still, he probably doesn't get fired. But it's a brand new owner.
So let's say
this man makes a huge fucking blockbuster trade. This man is he feels like he's on the top of the fucking world, right? So when they don't succeed, he's like, all right, well, this is my ship now, so I'm gonna fucking fire him.
But none of that deters from my point. So now you're the new guy in town. You, Anthony Rodriguez. You own the organization now, right?
Government.
Nice.
Yeah, good luck.
Right?
Good luck looking up Anthony Rodriguez, Pete.
You looking for a coach for your organization? I know a guy.
And you got a former coach of the year, a guy who has taken your team to the finals.
Right.
And your first move is to kick him out.
Yes.
All right, cool. That makes sense.
Bro,
what it is that y'all niggas want to believe in this conspiracy theory so bad. You want to believe that these niggas in charge.
Bro, you're the one that's believing in conspiracy theory.
That's what you want.
Bro,
that's what you want. You guys
hold on. Chris think he's more wise than half of these organizations that been here for at least 50 years. That's weird.
I believe Chris is too.
These niggas is just not here by mistake. If you made more sense than them, you would have been in charge instead of them, ain't it?
That's not what that's not how the world works, bro. You could be a basketball genius. You're not going to be an NBA coach, bro. How the fuck do you become an NBA coach?
Yeah, it's probability.
No, but to know who you are.
This nigga doing this now. Now you talking about exposure, probability, right place, right time. It's so many different factors, bro.
But Peterson, that's a direct rebuttal to what you just said. You said if I knew more than these niggas, I'd be in their position. That's what you just said, correct?
No, everybody can't be in that position, but they obviously gonna put one of the best in that position to run that organization. Right or wrong?
I'm saying there's like 8 niggas in a position to even be in that position. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't think 8 of those niggas is at least elite? They don't have to. Let's just say let's rank. No, hold on. Let's rank 1 through 8. So that's not how that shit happened.
No.
So they just got the gateway.
So Joe Biden is in that position. Joe Biden is in that position because he's the most qualified.
You don't
He was
think
more qualified than the other.
Yeah, it was him versus Trump. Like the fuck.
Regardless, he was one of the 8. He was there.
Yeah.
Do you believe he should have been there?
His track record made more sense than most of the people that was there. Who was gonna be next?
Peterson, you don't
Who was gonna be next?
Peterson,
The nigga trash. The nigga's trash. But a lot of them is Chris came and answered who was gonna be next. It was gonna be you. It was gonna be from Gateway. It was gonna be Allen. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be me, nigga.
I'm saying that there's probably 10,000 people more competent, but Joe Biden ended up being that guy. And that I feel like that in itself proves my point, bro.
No, I think you're remixing it to make it prove your point. That's like saying, oh, Jordan wasn't the best player. There's probably 20,000 niggas that play better than Jordan. Obviously, they never had the opportunity to even showcase that shit. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. Biden been in office for how long?
Forever.
He been in the government for like 35 years. You don't think he's somewhat qualified to even make it to be a candidate to be a president?
Does he have the resume? Yes. Does he have the mental capacity? No.
No, the nigga got Alzheimer's.
Qualified. When we say qualified, are we talking about actual qualities of somebody that you want in charge, or are you just saying somebody who has been there?
I mean, a lot of them is somebody that been there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what the fuck I'm saying.
But they had experience. But they still had experience in dealing with that. The most qualified motherfucker that I feel like that been president in a long time was Obama. Outside of that, Bush, retarded, but still he had experience. Not retarded, I'm sorry. Slow.
I don't understand how that helps your point. George Bush literally came from a government family, and you recognize his incompetence.
Yes.
And you're still trying to prove the point.
He still had experience. That's all I'm saying.
Who gives a fuck if he was incompetent?
You don't think the experience trumps that? You don't think experience helped a little bit? Who else they was gonna put in office? Joe Schmo from Wisconsin that know a little bit about the government that probably play Call of Duty in the corner of his grandma's house. Like,
he got my vote.
What you're saying right now is not disagreeing with my point. If I'm an owner of a team, I'm going to pick a guy who has what you say is experience.
Mm-hmm.
I could put a George Bush at the head of my team because the fans are going to be okay with the George Bush. George Bush is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. But niggas know who he is.
Like, he's not all the way dumb.
But niggas know who he is.
He had that. So that's crazy.
My team.
So you saying Bush has zero qualification to become president? You saying Joe Biden has zero qualification to become president?
No, I'm not saying that they have zero qualifications, but I'm saying that they're idiots. I mean, am I wrong?
They are idiots, but they still have some type of qualifications. Like,
am I wrong, bro? Like, I don't know, bro.
That's crazy. I think you have your own little conspiracy. Like,
I'm really not, and it's crazy because I feel like you're agreeing with me, but you don't want to agree with me. Like,
no, you know it's so crazy because I understand where you're going, but that's why I was like, rank like everybody that went against Sleepy Joe, rank them like that they had experience, right? And then people voted, right, within the people that had experience and got him to the top.
Like, you're saying that, but like, name me the other 2 Democratic candidates.
I mean,
Joe Biden. And I'm not trying to come at you, but like most niggas can't. Like, name me 2 other Republican candidates outside of Trump and DeSantis.
And you put me on
Michael
the
Paul.
spot. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't even know if that's a real person. I just made that up.
it's not. It's not. All right, go ahead. Who else?
The lady from Hawaii, what was her name? Tulsa Gabbard? Or no, I
No,
think she
you're
was
thinking
Democratic.
of South Carolina.
Wait, what's the question again? Name two Republican candidates? Because I'll be watching Fox News.
I know. Oh, my nigga be watching Fox News and he still can't name me two Republican candidates.
That's wild.
And that's literally why Joe Biden won.
No, that's so crazy. Just
But
cause
it's not.
that
It's
is
not.
wild. That is.
It's
So you
really
mean to
not.
tell me,
Bro, I swear to God.
no,
Hold on. I'm not playing
You ain't-
around.
No, hold on. So you mean to tell me this country is just ran by fucking unicorns, pixie dust, and bullshit? Like that's weird. Like that's so strange.
That's not what I'm saying. All jokes aside. I asked my coworker to name me two other Republican candidates.
Them niggas
He's
is
probably
cokeheads and retards. Like,
Damn.
that don't count. Like,
And they're on uppers, and they got. Oh, no, I was going to say
Let's
something
bring it
really
down here.
bad.
Let's bring it down here.
David. No.
what he said?
No.
Say
That's
it
not what he
again.
said.
I was gonna say something.
No, say it again. I missed it.
No.
I'll tell you off camera.
No, I'm gonna watch it again. I gotta go in like 6 minutes, but
Bro, we've
bring
been
it down here.
an hour
I really
in
want to make
and got one topic.
I really want to make a point. All right,
Go ahead.
Cool. All right, so I asked my Republican friend to name two candidates outside of Trump and DeSantis, and he couldn't do it. And you're saying that it's because he's coked up, but it's not because he's coked up. If you asked anybody at the base to name somebody outside of DeSantis and Trump, they probably wouldn't be able to do it either. Name me two Democratic candidates outside of Joe Biden.
that's on the spot, nigga. Like
Pete Buttigieg and Hillary Clinton.
Hillary
She's
Clinton
running
isn't
again?
a Democratic candidate.
Okay, Pete Buttigieg and the dude from Texas. What was his name? Beto O'Rourke.
He isn't running, and that guy's not running neither.
Oh,
do you know the people who are running?
You talking about new candidates?
I'm talking about 2024 DeSantis.
Oh, I don't know about it. I'll run it.
And this is the point that I'm making. This is the point that I'm making. Whoever the main guys are, whoever gets the most media attention is probably going to win because everybody else isn't going to get any attention.
But how they got to that point?
If you don't even know who they are, how are you going to vote for them?
How they got to that point? That's what I'm saying. They didn't just jump out of the sky and they became presidential candidates. Like,
all right. So let's take it a step backwards. We'll go with your logic. How did DeSantis get to his point?
I don't fucking know. I'm not a politician. I don't even vote no more. Like,
do you believe DeSantis got to his point because he's the most competent person?
I feel like he was somewhat competent and he got to the point where he was visible. And then now you able to vote for the visible people.
So he essentially ended up in a position where opportunity met luck, right?
Yes. Like majority of life is.
Okay, so he wasn't necessarily the most qualified person or the smartest person or the most competent person. He just ended up in the best opportunity, correct?
Yeah, but see, you about to do this again. Because that's
really not.
That's all of life then, Chris. Because that's why I brought up the Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Preparation met opportunity and took off.
Except Michael Jordan played against hundreds, thousands of basketball players.
No, but they still. There's literally a whole fucking. There's literally a whole stuff that you could watch that Jordan talking about. He wasn't even the best out of the era. What was the dude name that I think he ended up going to jail or some fucked up stupid shit happened to him?
There's a lot of
no,
talk about them.
It was one specific dude and Jordan spoke about him a lot too.
You talking about Len Bias?
Let's not even talk about Michael Jordan. Let's talk about LeBron James. Make an argument that anybody's better than LeBron James today or in these past 20 years. Make the argument.
Yeah,
you can't because LeBron has proven it night in and night out. You can't compare sports to politics because in sports you actually have to show up you have to show up and you have to play, right? And the statistics are going to show how good you are, correct?
And
When it comes to politics, you end up in the position you're in because people know your name, right?
So what about the mayors and all them people prior to that?
Same
What
thing.
what
People know your name.
you know the mayor of Orlando and Kissimmee?
Buddy
The
Dwyer.
people who voting are.
But I'm saying that's how they got it in the position. Like that. This is crazy.
You know what's crazy?
I mean, I don't know why you're getting so frustrated with me when I feel like I'm proving my point. You agree with me that Joe Biden isn't very competent, or are you saying that he is?
To a certain extent, no.
But you believe that he's not that competent. But he's the president of the fucking United States. You feel me?
You missing the point. I gotta go to. I really gotta go.
All right, bro.
I gotta work, nigga.
Before you go. Tam sent me this video on Twitter of Biden. He says Biden
Send it in the chat.
mistakenly
I really
tells
gotta go.
troops in Japan that his son died in Iraq when his son actually died in Maryland from cancer.
That's crazy. The
What
nigga,
the heck?
I gotta go.
Yo, this man, Sleepy Joe, that man's wild. What
He
a
needs
trip.
a nap. He needs a milk.
He just needs to fucking lay down, bro. Anyway, we're at time, and we got through one topic. At least we get to save the other ones for next week, so we're good there. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.